He was a burglar, he was a liar, and he was a special agent of the FBI. For 26 years, Wes Swearingen broke into the homes of Communist Party members. He worked to destroy the Black Liberation Movement, and he trailed fugitives from the 60s radical underground. All this is recounted in his new book, FBI Secrets, an Agent's Exposé. According to Swearingen, FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover ordered his agents to destroy what he considered public enemy number one, the Black Panther Party.
Suddenly in the late 60s, the Black Panther Party was more dangerous than the Communist Party or the Ku Klux Klan or any organization that you can think of. And we in the field were instructed to, as I said, neutralize these people. In fact, Hoover said in one of his communications that he didn't really care whether the facts warranted prosecution or not. He wanted these people in jail. So, not really defining what he meant by neutralize, the agents had to use their own interpretation, and some would consider neutralizing a leader of the Black Panther Party as putting him in jail. Some others might say, well, if we have this guy assassinated or gunned down in a gunfight, then he's certainly going to be neutralized if he's 6 feet underground. And there were a few agents in Los Angeles who got the bright idea that if they could get members from the United Slaves Organization to fight with the Black Panther Party, that hopefully they'd get in a gun battle and kill each other, and that would solve the problem of the Black Panther Party and the United Slaves.
Then FBI agent Swearingen was working in the Los Angeles office in early 1969 when news of the murders of 2 local Black Panther leaders arrived. According to Swearingen, the killers of Bunchy Carter and John Huggins were FBI informants. Convicted of the slayings, United Slaves members George and Larry Steiner were sent to San Quentin prison, but within a few years, they escaped from the maximum security facility.
I heard after publication of my book from a source who was familiar with things that were going on at San Quentin that one of the Steiner brothers had given himself up, and he's back in the United States. And I think he surrendered, in late 1994. I don't know what has happened to the other Steiner brother, but in court when the one Steiner brother appeared so that he could be returned to, I presume, San Quentin, he said in the hearing there at the court that he had assistance from the guards at San Quentin to help him escape. Now, there was another FBI informant in Los Angeles who, in later years, admitted in court records that Steiner brothers were FBI informants, and he said that the FBI had arranged for their escape from San Quentin.
According to Swearingen, the FBI next turned its sights on Elmer Geronimo Pratt, the charismatic leader of the LA Black Panthers. He claims that Pratt was framed up on a 1968 murder case. In spite of evidence pointing to Pratt's innocence, the Panther leader was convicted and sent to prison. To this day, he remains locked up in California. Wes Swearingen.
I know that the prosecuting attorney is presently a Superior Court judge in the Los Angeles area, so it's rather difficult for someone who holds about the same position, I think, as Lance Ito in the O.J. Simpson case to come forward and say, wait a minute. I tried the case, and we framed him. I don't think he's about to do that. And the FBI is not about to indicate that they were in on a conspiracy to have him framed, because that would destroy their credibility.
With the Panthers out of commission, Swearingen was assigned to other tasks, such as the unsuccessful tracking of fugitives from the Weather Underground organization. Soon, scandals erupted over the FBI's harassment of political groups. This resulted in the Church Committee hearings before Congress. But according to Swearingen, the FBI simply resorted to deceit before its congressional inquisitors.
No, the FBI didn't cooperate fully with the Church Committee, and although I wasn't in Washington, I'm aware of certain things, and one of them was that the FBI said that during the years 1942 to 1966 that the FBI did something like 238 black bag jobs on approximately 14 targets. Well, I knew that was a lie because when I was in Chicago, I did twice that number in only a 5-year period against the Communist Party. And then later on, in a court case, the FBI admitted that, yes, they did do at least 500 in Chicago against 50 targets. So there was a lie that they had admitted right there.
In recent weeks, there have been calls by the Clinton administration and Congress to give the FBI broader powers to investigate alleged terrorists. Just last week, the Senate passed a measure that allows the FBI more leeway in investigating individuals. Former FBI agent Wes Swearingen is disturbed by these developments. He claims that FBI abuse of its powers never ended, and he adds that the proposed counterterrorism legislation before Congress would threaten civil liberties.
If it can be proven that the people who did the bombing in Oklahoma City are members of the National Rifle Association, then under this proposed new law, the NRA could be considered a terrorist organization, and then 3.5 million members would be subject to investigation, their bank records checked, their telephone records checked, and just about everything they've ever done in their life checked to see if they're a possible terrorist. And this is one of the reasons you would need another 1,000 agents. If you're going to investigate 3.5 million people, you're going to need about 1,000 agents. You don't need 1,000 agents to catch somebody like McVeigh and the other suspects in the Oklahoma City bombing.
Swearingen adds that other groups could be the target of possible future counterintelligence programs. He cites in particular the direct action wing of the environmental movement.
I used to live in New Mexico, so I'm aware that there's still a lot of people that like the fresh air and the sunshine and the trees and the land. And if they become involved in these environmental groups, just be wary of any suddenly newfound friends who want to loan them their car or buy them liquor or get them drugs at a real cheap price or even free, or buy them handguns to use, or volunteer to help them on anything, because it's probably going to be some law enforcement organization working undercover.
Wes Swearingen is the author of FBI Secrets, an Agent's Expose. The book is published by Boston's South End Press. For the KUNM Evening Report, I'm Kent Patterson.